because this is the Speakeasy podcast where we talk about the behind the scenes of being the successfully paid speaker or author. And this is a special edition that we do for the Desire to Inspire community here over on Facebook. So if you have not checked them out, definitely come on over, check them out. For those who are joining us live in the community, hey guys, looking forward to talking to you guys and engaging with you. But today's topic is one that I've seen discussed so many times simply because there's a miseducation of what it means to be a paid speaker. That part. So a lot of you coming into the brand and into the industry are literally mislabeling yourself. And then there's this frustration between, well, I really want to be a paid speaker, but have you really labeled yourself and put yourself out there as a paid speaker? So with that being said, who am I? Oh my goodness, I can't start without saying who I am. I am Altovise Pelzer, the voice coach, professional speaker, certified life coach, Amazon bestselling author, and podcaster. And guys, I have been podcasting for over a year. We're running up on year number 2 of podcasting with the Speakeasy podcast. But this is our inaugural episode in the Desire to Inspire community, that part. So we're super excited to be here, super excited to be able to present this information for you and to you, but also I love dialogue. So I want to hear your comments. I want to hear your information. I want you to comment, even if you're catching this via the replay. I want to know what it is that you feel as though was right, wrong, or what just rubbed you the wrong way. Because guess what? That's what this is all about. It's about discussion. So first and foremost, most of you do not even realize that there are 4 types of speakers. Yes, 4. And you're going to look at me right now and say, what? No, you're a speaker. You're either paid or you're broke. No. Tea and shade. No. So there are 4 types of speakers. And that's what we're going to dive into a little bit today, is that those 4 types of speakers, mislabeling yourself could be the reason why you're not a paid speaker, or why you're only getting a certain type of speaking opportunities, that part. So when we go into this, this is not something that most coaches teach. This is not something that most programs teach. In all actuality, most speakers came into the industry immediately thinking that they wanted to be a keynote speaker, that they were a keynote speaker, and that meant that they were going to be a paid speaker. And so they kind of just went with that. But the reality is that that's not how it works. That's not how any of this goes. There are 4 types of speakers: the keynote speaker, the platform speaker, the motivational speaker, and the inspirational speaker. Now, some of you are going to say, well, motivation and inspiration, aren't they the same? No, there's some differences. They can be very interchangeable. And this is the thing where people get it misconstrued, is that as a speaker, you're not pigeonholed to one avenue of speaking. That's not what this is about. You can be in several different areas. I personally am in the keynote realm. I'm in the platform realm. I'm in the motivational realm, simply because I talk about women and abuse. I talk about building a business and rebranding. I talk about several different things. So it's don't think that you have to be held to only one type of, title, if that's what you would like to call it. You don't have to be held to one description. You can actually be in multiple, descriptions of what it is to be a speaker. But we need to understand that there are multiple, because that will highly affect what we do when it comes to accepting a speaking opportunity, going after a speaking opportunity. Not all speaking opportunities are made the same. That part. And so that topic actually will be one of our other topics later on this month. But not all speaking topics are the same. I need you guys to understand this. Love it, live it, Feel it in your shanana. Because guess what? If you present yourself as a motivational speaker, then you cannot be offended if someone presents to you a chicken dinner and a soda. Let's just, yes, it has been done. There have been people that as the motivational, inspirational speaker, because they don't understand the dynamics of it, that have been presented with, yeah, we're going to get you a chicken dinner and a soda. We're going to get you a bag of chips. How many of you have gone through that if you have already been a speaker? How many of you have actually endured that part where you go or they don't really give you that they have a budget for a speaker or all of those things? Sometimes mislabeling yourself is the reason why that's happening. So again, we have the 4 and we're going to break down what those 4 are, why they're important, because each one is going to get paid on a different scale. The top one that everybody, for whatever the reason, comes into the industry thinking that they are is a keynote speaker. And what you fail to realize is that a keynote speaker gives a very crafted 60-minute speech. I mean, like crafted. Every keynote speaker is not giving a 60-minute speech, but they are the anchor for an event. Can we be real right now? Some of you are labeling yourself as a keynote speaker and you don't have the engagement or the reach to be a keynote speaker. A keynote speaker brings people to an event. They don't just come to take people away. Meaning, keynote speakers are not just coming to get new clients. A keynote speaker, now granted, they may get new clients in the interim, but a keynote speaker brings people to an event. So if somebody tells somebody that you're going to be the keynote speaker for an event, are people going to show up simply because it's you? That is a keynote speaker. If you hear that Lisa Nichols is at an event, Lisa Nichols is the keynote speaker. People know who she is. They come to the event because they know who she is. And I get it. This is going to offend some people. There's going to be some folks that, you know, that aren't feeling this. Come on. But the reality is that as a keynote speaker, your name holds weight. There is weight that comes with your name. There is notoriety that comes with your name. Does everybody know your name? It's like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Okay, I just dated myself. Don't judge me. Don't judge. This is a non-judgment zone. In case this is your first time catching a Speakeasy episode, this is the non-judgment zone. Okay, guys? But literally, being a keynote speaker means that, guess what? I got some weight. I got some skin in the game. I've been at this for a minute. Some of you don't have an email list. Some of you don't have a social media presence. You don't have any engagement on social media, but you want to label yourself a keynote speaker. That's not how any of this goes. So also with a keynote speaker, listen, they're usually a part of a speaker association. They're connected to some speaker bureau or speaking community. Why? Because they understand the importance of networking. Most of y'all are scared to network. Can we just be honest? Y'all scared to come out your comfort zone. As a keynote speaker, they know how to network in the right communities. And so normally you will see them as being a part of what? A speaking organization. I personally am a part of the Black Speakers Network, which is an amazing speakers organization. But guess what? I engage in the actual community. I don't just have a title. You see that? Did you catch it? Did you hashtag catch it? Did you catch it? Just like you are in this amazing community here or in whatever communities you're a part of on social media, some of you are there just to say you're there. Actually engaging with people and going to live events and meeting up with people, that is key. You'll see Les Brown going to events where he's connecting and networking with people. Guess what? He's not just a part of a certain organization. He'll show up and actually be at the event. That speaks volumes. Also, you'll see that keynote speakers travel. And some of you are trying to label yourself as a keynote speaker, and I get it. Everybody wants to be at that level, but you have to travel, which means that you need to have a budget for traveling. You need to have a budget for speaking. Keynote speakers know that this is above and beyond. Like, this is business. And a horrible fact is that a lot of keynote speakers, because they normally do so much, they're the ones that have struggled at home in their family life. They struggle at home in the day-to-day because they're on the road so much. So you got to be careful. Because guess what? This takes planning. This takes teamwork. This is not just you going out here and being a solopreneur. It doesn't work that way. And they're always working on perfecting their craft. As a keynote speaker, I'm always working on perfecting my craft, either by live streaming, by doing other events, virtual events, other things where I may not necessarily be a keynote speaker. Guess what? I'm always working on my craft. I'm always listening to podcasts, probably why I loved it so much and decided to start one. I'm always reading books. I'm always looking for ways to educate myself in my field, in my zone of greatness, in my expertise. Because when a keynote speaker gets up, they are the expert in their industry. That means that, yes, they're going to know numbers, they're going to know statistics, they're going to know the ins and outs, they're going to know those things because this is their lane. So if you come to them with information that they didn't know, I'm going to tell you what happens. They immediately will go and see if that information is true. Because this being their lane, they work hard for it. This it. Now, what you guys confuse is the keynote speaker with the platform speaker. Platform speakers are phenomenal. Lewis Howes, Steve Olsher, Christian Michelson, all of these are platform speakers. Yes, they can still be put into a keynote role because they know their industry and they are the expert in a certain industry. But as a platform speaker, guess what happens? You sell from the stage. Platform speakers will often take an event and speak for free, which means that they're paying for their own travel sometimes, they're paying for their own hotel, but they're paying to be able to sell from the stage. This is where people get it mixed up. Because they're like, oh, well, I don't want to be a free speaker. I want to be a paid speaker. Well, there's multiple facets to being a paid speaker, and a platform speaker is the entrepreneur of speaking. This is a business, man. This is what it is. This is a business. And so they understand that this is a revenue stream for their business, and they work it as such. These are the ones that pay attention to the conversion rates when it comes to selling from the stage, selling from the back of the room, how they're selling, what kind of products and things that they're selling. The difference, and you'll see a huge difference between the ones that sell from the stage and a keynote speaker, is most times a keynote speaker does not always give a link. They don't always sell something. Most times they don't. They may give you an opportunity to get on their email list, but they're not always really selling from the stage. A platform speaker is going to sell from every stage they are on. And they know how to make that conversion rate. I think a good conversion rate from the stage is normally about 20 to 30% of the room. So let's do numbers. If you're selling a $500 product and you have 1,000 people in the room, and 20% of 1,000 is 200 people. Let's do the math. How much did you just come away with? See, that's where people get it misconstrued. You can speak at an event for free, and they not pay you to be at the event, and still walk away with 6 figures, still walk away with 5 figures. And all you did was speak on a stage for 30 minutes to an hour. Sound about right? But people don't understand that piece. And so there's always this debate that, no, in order for me to be a paid speaker, the event itself has to pay me. You will keep yourself broke and broken with that mindset. You will definitely keep yourself broke and broken with that particular mindset. Why? Simply because, again, it's all about, listen, I know the information, and it's not to say that you don't know the information if you're in one category as opposed to another. It's to say you've labeled yourself as this motivational speaker, and then you can't understand why people are like, well, no, you can't sell from the stage. Well, the events that you're getting are going to be ones that you can't sell from the stage. That part. There's also some other things that play into it that we'll talk about in some future episodes when it comes to actually doing the research before saying yes to an event. But let's start out with the real. Some of y'all just labeled yourself wrong, and that's okay. Now, is that to say that, labeling yourself as a keynote is dangerous? It can be. Labeling yourself as a platform speaker is dangerous? It could be, if that's not really your lane. Know your lane. It's not to say that you can't put on that good blinker and move into another lane, but know your lane and know it well. Okay, also with platform speakers, they speak for free, but they sell from the stage. But also, like I said, speaking is a form of income for them. So they have what? They have a goal of how many speaking events they do per month, how much they need to bring back from each speaking event. They have a profit plan, they have a marketing strategy. Most speakers, when they go to do an event, because they have not been taught, they just go to an event saying they want to sell a couple books. And most don't even know that there's more to books. There's more that you can sell at an event than just books and t-shirts and mugs. Again, that's that platinum, I keep saying platinum speaker. Like they're the highest level. That's that platform speaker. They really do. They have a lot going on, and they know how to make that conversion happen. You missed that part. Again, it's not to say that one person is not, no. Each one has their strengths, and I'm sure each one of them has their weaknesses. But as a platform speaker, it's all about the conversion. How am I converting people? And like I said, the average is about 20% to 30%, depending on how good you are. Coming into it, if you're not somebody who knows how to sell and convert people, your average may be quite less. It may be only 10% of the room, 15% of the room. So you definitely have to understand that. And somebody in the comments just said, yeah, people get stuck in the terminology and they don't really know the difference. So you don't get stuck in the terminology. Understand that there really is a huge, significant difference between them all. Now, this is the other piece of it, is that as a platform speaker, I understand the sales psychology. I understand what words to use, what colors to wear, where to stand, where to put my hands, when to pause, what questions to ask. All of that is a part of the sales psychology. The platform speaker is the guru of sales psychology. Guru. meaning they don't necessarily always sell simply because of their name. They know how to give you the right mix of pros and cons. They know how to give you the right mix of personal stories and success stories. They know how to give you all of that that entices you to want to buy from them. That's sales psychology. Guess what? Can I be honest? I hate sales. But I have over 15 years of sales experience. I know that sales psychology. That part. Is it something I tapped into? Not before I was speaking, it wasn't. I would tap into it for a job, let's be honest. I would tap into it for my job, but outside of the job, I really didn't know or, think that those skills were really something that could excel my business, especially as a speaker. That sales psychology is the reason why certain brands use certain colors. That sales psychology is the reason why you'll see certain things on certain television stations. I know me and my oldest daughter, we were having a conversation about what commercials are on certain stations, what commercials are only on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, what commercials are on channels where older people watch. You'll see a lot of commercials that's geared right to them. Guess what? As a platform speaker, they know how to make sure that they are speaking directly to their target audience, no matter how many people are in the crowd. It's a skill. It's an amazing skill that can really take you far, but only if you know how to do it the right way. So that sales psychology is it. And like I said, they're the entrepreneurs of the speaking industry. Again, they see the investment piece. They see the ROI, which is your return on investment piece. They see all of those little gems that somebody coming in as a motivational or inspirational speaker may not see. Now, the motivational and inspirational speakers, they can be flip-flopped. Most of them are telling you stories from the heart. Motivational speakers are trying to get you to master something. They really want you to master life or master something in business or master some piece, of what it is that they've been able to master. They're coming to you with that mastery mentality. While the inspirational is more visionary, dream big, see great things happening, visualize your future. Let's be honest. Most of us have always seen motivational speakers and inspirational speakers. Matter of fact, there was even a shift, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, but there was a huge shift in events, live events, where people weren't going to as many live events because they were, they would go and get the motivation and get the inspiration, but they weren't really getting the steps necessary for them to make a change afterwards. So you had a lot of people that were going to events and they were great there. Doing their little dance and everything, and then go home and there's no significant change. Go home and they don't really have action steps in order for them to go to another level. That's the difference, is that on each of these platforms, they will give you something different. Motivational and inspirational will give you something like affirmations. They'll give you books. They'll give you something for you to do, that's going to pick up your spirit. Whereas the platform and keynote speakers are going to give you some hardcore steps and say, listen, this is what I did. This is how it worked for me. And this is how it can work for you. That part. So as I've gone through some of the major and important pieces of it, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as the motivational speaker? Do you see yourself as the inspirational speaker? Do you see yourself as the keynote? Or do you see yourself as the platform speaker? Again, it's not to say that you have to stay in one area, but it is to say that there's some things you may need to learn in order to be in another dynamic, in order to be labeled as another speaker. Most times when you get someone who's doing an event and they're looking for motivational and inspirational speakers, most times there will be a small investment that needs to be made. People don't understand that part. They don't always understand that part. There will be a small investment that needs to be made, simply because of the level of the event, the experience of the event, of someone who is doing the event, putting the event together. And this is another big piece of it, that when you're coming in as the inspirational and motivational, most times you don't have a budget for speaking. And so they want to make sure that you have skin in the game. As someone who has done, I just wrapped up a 7-city tour, the Love My Voice tour. And listen, people don't show up. It's you still got to pay for the room. You still got to pay for the food. You still got to pay for, the things that come with it. And you will have people that won't show up. You will have vendors that don't show up. You'll have attendees that don't show up. And so you really have to understand the business side of it. Yes, there's a huge business side of it. Now, keynote speakers are normally doing like bigger events, stadium events. They may do church events, but they're doing events where the event organizer, the host, has sponsors to where they can pay for the event, or they have a budget to where they can pay for speakers. Not everybody has that budget. Not everybody has that understanding of having sponsorship when it comes to doing an event. So what does that tell you as a speaker? That's one of the questions that I need to ask before saying yes to an event. What kind of speaker are you looking for? What is it that am I able to sell from the stage? What does that look like? What does your audience normally look like? Those types of questions. And you know what? I'll be able to give you guys, I think I'll create a question list for you guys for when you're saying yes to speaking opportunities. Because I feel as though a lot of times as speakers, you don't really always know what to ask in the beginning. And I can guarantee you that when I started out in 2014, I did not know what questions to ask. I did not. And I probably asked wrong questions because you were so excited about getting an opportunity to speak. Don't allow that excitement to be the reason why you're broke. Wah, 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 that part. Don't allow that excitement to be the reason why you're broke, because that excitement will make you broke, because you'll put out more money to speak at an event than what you ever bring in. I can tell you that there have been plenty of events where I put out money to speak and it wasn't that many people there, or I didn't get anything out of the event. And I wasn't able to sell from the stage, or I just didn't, there wasn't a connection with the audience. So you really have to be very careful. Remember, be very careful. If this is going to be something where you're going to be the successful speaker, where you're going to be the paid successful speaker, then guess what? There's going to be some real hard questions that you're going to need to ask in the beginning. With that being said, so now back to this inspirational speaker. So again, we said that there's 4 types of speakers for those just coming in and those who, you may have been half listening to this episode. That's okay. But there are four. And they are the keynote, the platform, the motivational, and the inspirational. Now, with that being said, guess what? Inspirational, most people look at you as inspirational or motivational unless you tell them otherwise. And if you go through it, and listen, no tea, no shade. If you go on to LinkedIn, if you go through people's profiles on Facebook, what does it normally say? Does it say keynote speaker or does it say motivational speaker? When you're on LinkedIn, you'll see a lot more people that specify that they are a keynote speaker, meaning that they do an event, they speak for an hour, They have a crafted message. Most of you don't have a keynote address or crafted message, but they have all of that, and they have keynote speaker. But what you see a lot on Facebook is you see a lot of motivational speakers. And that's why I said labeling yourself can really be damaging, because what you'll get is you'll get a lot more people that'll come over on LinkedIn and really be excited about connecting with a keynote speaker and having them present for an event and be a part of something, as opposed to on Facebook, you'll get a lot more people that will present to you opportunities where you have to invest. Hey, I'm just giving you the real. I'm giving you what happens. I'm giving you that, listen, this is what happens. And people get stuck thinking that every speaking opportunity I have to pay for. Can I tell you, I've had speaking opportunities where my hotel was taken care of, my flight was taken care of. I've had speaking opportunities, again, where I've had to make the investment. It's part of the process. But if I can help you not have those bumps and bruises on your head from hitting your head against a brick wall, then I would definitely love for you to be able to come in, tune in to the Speak Easy podcast, because that's what we do here. We make sure that you don't have those bumps and bruises. We make sure that you find out the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to being a speaker or an author. That's what it's all about. Now, so this is the thing. I need y'all to stop labeling yourself out of revenue. There's so many opportunities and options for you to be a paid speaker, but you're labeling yourself out of revenue. Understand your lane. Learn a different capacity of it if that's what you want to do. If you would love to level up, come on. Sierra done told us, come on, level up. If you're trying to level up, that's great. But learn what comes with that. Don't just speak against the platform and speak against an opportunity because you are not educated. The miseducation of people keeps us broke. The miseducation will keep you broke. It will keep you in a place of lack. The miseducation will keep you in a position of not being able to network your way to success. It's miseducation. Learn the different platforms. Learn the different opportunities and what that would mean. Because listen, the running joke is that people get excited and will say yes to speaking at a at a horse breeders convention, and they don't know anything about horse breeding. They don't know how to craft their message to be able to speak at a horse breeders convention, but they're just excited because they got the opportunity. Don't be that speaker. Don't be that speaker, because that is the quickest way to having it all come crumbling down. I've been able to stay off my job for over a year now. Speaking, doing events, virtual events, live events, interviews, all of these things that come together as it being a business, a speaking career. There's some things you got to put out there first. So I always give you guys a gift. I love giving gifts. Gifts are my friend. Gifts are your friend. You like gifts? I like gifts. If you go to bit.ly/love my voice and put in coupon code speak up, you can actually get my second ebook completely free. Why is that? Because when I was rebranding in 2016, to get to where I am right now, there were some key elements that I had to go through. And that book will definitely help you to be able to do the same. So bit.ly/love my voice and put in coupon code speak up, because that's what it's about. It's about speaking up, guys. It's about taking it to another level and expanding your brands, but put it out there. It's time to define your voice. It's time for you to get on stage and tell people what it is that you have to offer. And I tell people all the time, if you are a speaker, you should be an author, and you are an entrepreneur. But also, some of you may be saying, well, I haven't started speaking yet. I'm not a speaker. Guess what? If you're an entrepreneur, you should be on stage sharing your expertise. And if you're not, you're missing out on a stream of revenue. That part. If you are not, you are missing a stream of revenue. that part. So when I tell you about what it is I did to define my voice, what does that mean? Because some of you, this is your first time hearing me. Some of you heard episodes before. Well, guess what? In 2018 alone, just 2018, I have done 15 interviews. I've done 11 live events and about 8 virtual events. I've been in 3 magazines. I've done 2 local meetups, and I've done 5 virtual trainings. Guess what, guys? There were some things I had to do to get to this point, and that's why Speak Easy podcast was born. Because I didn't want other people to go through the same hardships I went through. That part. And we've been going strong for over a year. Excited. So I'm excited. I'm thankful that you were here. Why? Because you may have learned something today that will make you go and look at your vision board for 2019 and say, you know what? For 2019, I'm going to be the platform speaker. That means from now until January, I'm going to learn what I need to learn in order for me to be able to sell from the stage. With that being said, hey guys, this is Altovise Pelzer, the voice coach, professional speaker, certified life coach, Amazon bestselling author, and podcaster. And this is the Speak Easy podcast, your #1 podcast for the unscripted and unbiased behind the scenes of being a paid professional speaker and author. With that being said, guys, I look forward to seeing you and hearing from you. So let me know what you thought about this episode. Let me know about what you thought about the content, what you thought about the information that I gave. Was it something you already knew? Was it something new for you? Definitely let me know. You need to let me know on social media by checking me out at Find Your Voice Now, or checking me out at the Speak Easy podcast across social media as well. So until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.